Hello guys, today I'm gonna try to talk about some of the stuff that happened after I gave up my physics major. So that was one of the video ideas, so here it is. I'm gonna spend mostly today on how and why I got into philosophy after I gave up my physics major, like gave up pursuing physics major. It's not my major, so I don't give it up, I guess. But I just want to share my story. Let me see. I'm trying to think of a good place to start here. So I will probably try to make this as 2 series. So the first one, this video, is going to be about philosophy, and the other one is going to be about physics, because the physics part actually is has been a significant part of my life since I was around 10. But yeah, around 10, yeah. And then I had to give up pursuing the major. I think the story technically starts when I was in high school. So when I was in high school, I had to take an elective on either philosophy or political science or history or something like that. And I remember thinking to myself, well, I'll choose philosophy. I've never really learned it before, and I'm pretty sure it's just playing with words, so it should be easy. That was my mindset, actually, surprisingly. And then on the first day of class, the philosophy professor in high school. Oh, by the way, I went to a high school where you could take classes from like university, so it was a part of university. So that's why I'm referring to him as a professor. But he told the whole class that if you think philosophy is just playing with words, then you're wrong, and this class will prove you that is wrong. And yeah, that was surprising to me at first, because yeah, I had this preconceived notion of philosophy being very just playing with words and stuff. And yeah, like after going through the whole survey of philosophy, it was an intro to philosophy class. It turned out that I really liked what they were doing, and but it just remained at that. Like I just thought it was interesting, but it was like, yeah, it's interesting, let's move on. That kind of mindset. And then when I went to college in my freshman year, of course, I didn't think about taking any philosophy classes, because I just thought, well, I'm a physics major, so I am going to have to take only physics and math classes. And even though I did have some space for other classes, I just filled that with like Japanese, because my academic advisor told me to take Japanese since I already know it, and it will be kind of a boost, so to speak, to my GPA, which was true, because my freshman GPA was not that good. Like all the grades that I got were pretty much in the B range, and nothing was in A range except for the Japanese class. So I'm really thankful that my advisor told me that. But anyway, first year was majorly just me trying to figure out how to become a good physics major, and it didn't go well. I'll talk about that more later, but yeah, let's leave it at that for now. So in my sophomore year, I was trying to figure out what should I major on after I kind of like didn't want to do physics anymore. And surprisingly, philosophy didn't come to my mind like initially, because my parents told me that my parents did support me giving up the physics major, like pursuing physics major, but they also wanted me to do something similar to physics. So it would have been something like computer science or applied math or statistics or something like that, or something in the engineering area. And I mostly agreed with that, because I just wanted to I did still want to do something related to physics. So I was like, yeah, maybe I should try computer science at first, because there were a lot of people doing computer science. And I tried taking 2 classes, and I just and I almost got through. Well, I didn't almost get through. I almost ended up taking data structures. I tried for like 3 weeks, and I just gave up, because I just hated it. Like I just hated the fact that there were pretty much no creativity allowed in the coding assignments, and it was very tedious for me, at least. I mean, yes, you can argue that coding also requires a lot of creativity, but it was mostly tedious for me, and I don't think anyone would disagree with the fact that coding is tedious. It can be pretty tedious, and I just hate doing tedious stuff. And I decided to go think about applied math and statistics, which might have made sense because a lot of physics majors also did something related to applied math, which makes sense because a lot of physics majors deal with analyzing data. And I tried that too, and it has not. It was at first I thought I liked it because the classes that I took weren't really the classes that involve a lot of analysis and coding. For instance, I took probability theory and discrete math, and those were pretty interesting to me because they don't really concern with coding. They're like proof, and yeah. So, and then I just ended up taking optimization and data mining, which are like the data science courses kind of. And then yeah, I just found out that I don't like that much. And okay, yeah, so that was the 7 p.m. It is 7 p.m. right? Yeah, 7 p.m. bell. That goes up on Gilman Hall. I think every 15 minutes until like 8 or something, I don't know. But anyway, I also didn't like applied math because it just occurred to me that it involves a lot of coding. And I think those were like two of my major I don't know what to call it, a major digression, I don't know, that I took before going to philosophy, or seriously consider philosophy as a major. The first time that I took a philosophy course in a university context was philosophy of religion and Greek philosophy in my sophomore year. After dropping the data structures course, I had space for another course, so I just decided to enroll in Greek philosophy. So I took those two courses and I loved it like a lot. So and it turned out that I was pretty good at it as well because I got pretty good grades on my essay, and I also just loved thinking about those topics. For instance, in philosophy of religion, we had to think about the problem of evil for this one essay prompt. It was pretty much about Plantinga and J.L. Mackey's argument about how it is incompatible that evil exists when God is this God is like an omniscient and omnipotent, omnibenevolent thing, you know. And yeah, I just loved thinking about the arguments by myself, so I really enjoyed it a lot as well. So after those two courses, I just ended up taking more and more courses, and I just ended up liking it more and more. So what's next? So yeah, the what comes next is the spicy part, because it's the part that I struggled with a lot. So if you like something, then you think about doing that for forever, maybe. Yeah, like if you like making videos, then you think about becoming a YouTuber and trying to make money out of it. Or if you like designing or painting or writing, then you just think about making a living out of it. You just think about it. Maybe you don't do it. You don't end up doing it, but you just think about it. So I thought about doing philosophy as a career at one moment, like around. So when this occurred when I was writing about the problem of evil essay. So I was like, yeah, if this is what philosophers do for a living, then it should be pretty amazing, because it's all about making interesting arguments and analyzing the arguments and critiquing and getting into this philosophical dialogue and so forth. So I did consider that, and I just looked up, just out of curiosity, I was like, what is philosophy graduate school like? And there's this one link that popped up, which is an advice from this professional philosopher. And that advice pretty much told me that you shouldn't do it because of the fact that it is a very competitive field and not many people actually make it through the end, and it is just oversaturated with people who are smart, brilliant, hardworking, and so forth. So I didn't. Yeah, after reading that advice, I was like, yeah, maybe this is my way. I should try to find something more practical, which is actually why I hesitated a lot thinking about other practical majors like computer science or applied math or something like that. So I was desperate for those to work out, but they didn't. Um, so yeah, that was the process, like initial process. So I was like, yeah, I really want to do this, but apparently, this philosopher says that it's actually not as good as you might think it is. So I mentally tried to give up pursuing becoming a philosopher, but it's one of those things where you try to give something up and it just can't leave your mind. It wasn't like that with physics. So I was actually able to get off my mind from physics pretty quickly, which says something about it, I guess. But for philosophy, it didn't occur to me that I could just leave immediately, because I felt like something was there. I felt like some kind of deep connection with the philosophical arguments and philosophy and all the philosophers. You know, I mean, this sounds cheesy, but yeah, it really was like that. So in this one part of my mind, it bugged me to try to consider this route seriously again, even though it might be the case that it is pretty difficult to go for. So it was a constant clash between those two. So one is like do it, and the other one is don't do it. And I think it might have been more difficult if I actually had something more practical that I love to do. And it also might have been difficult if something worked out with other things that I tried. But the thing is, I don't know if this is all the science that I should do philosophy. Maybe it is, I don't know. But yeah, those things didn't work out, which is, I think, the big reason why I was like, you know what, maybe this should be my first option. And I can give you some more examples. For instance, I studied abroad in Budapest for this amazing program called Budapest Semesters in Mathematics. And yeah, it is only for math majors, and you just pretty much study advanced mathematics in Budapest over the summer. It's really good. It's a great program. You get to take courses that your university might not necessarily offer. Really interesting topics, and I took combinatorics and number theory. Those were really interesting, and I loved doing math in Budapest. It was such a great experience. But the thing is that after doing that for 2 months, it just occurred to me that I can't do this for my life, because I can't do this for my living, because I thought that I just didn't have that kind of feeling, a gut feeling, or like a connection between me and math. I don't know how to explain this connection, I'm sorry, but it just occurred to me that there is no connection between math and me, because whenever I did math problems, my heart wasn't like beating, or I wasn't like very excited. I was decently excited, but not too excited. And then there was this different feeling that I had when I was doing philosophy, because whenever I would write philosophy papers or think about arguments and run by ideas, those really those really made my heart beat, and also pump my adrenaline and stuff. And then you might say like, well, just because other things didn't work out doesn't mean you should just do philosophy. Well, that's true. So philosophy wasn't like my alternative route if these things didn't work out. The reason why is that I actually also had a lot of experience in philosophy that kind of solidified my interest in philosophy. So I can think of two major events that happened to me right away. So the first one is, before all the coronavirus thing happened, I actually went to Scotland to give a presentation on my paper. It was at St. Andrews University, and it was amazing. Like just the fact that I was able to go travel to Scotland and give my paper to people, it was amazing. And I also got graciously supported by the Department of Philosophy. Forever indebted. And yeah, just the experience of giving a talk and exchanging ideas and listening to others, philosophers or students talk as well. Those really, like just thinking about the possibility, the mere possibility that I can do that for for a living, that just sounded amazing to me. And the other one, the other experience was that I was able to visit University of Southern California philosophy department back in November. Yes, this is also pre-coronavirus era. And yeah, I just loved that experience as well. I also got funded for that too, so I'm like very gracious for those who were able to fund my journey in coming with philosophy. But that experience was amazing as well, because I was able to talk to other philosophy students from other institutions for the first time ever, and also just got to learn what graduate school is like in a more deep detail. The Scotland conference was back in February 28th to March 1st, so after that I kind of realized that this is really what I want to commit to. And before that, I just had a lot of self-doubts, just because a lot of people were telling me that philosophy is something that you shouldn't do only just because you are interested in it. You should commit to it in a very deep way, because a lot of people say, including the people online and also the philosophy professors, that it is not a stable way and it is a risky way, because there's just so many uncertainties regarding it, and now even more, of course. And yeah, I was fully aware of that, and that's why at first I was not sure if I should commit to it, and I was just kind of stalling in a way. I was just hoping that something would come to me and make my decision for me. I guess that was what I was waiting for, and at one point I realized that's not gonna happen. So I was determined to find out if this is something that I want to do by myself. So I just actively tried to commit to the activities that I described, and also just consult to a lot of people and just think about what I really want in my life. And that's how I came to the conclusion that I should commit to doing philosophy, or at least try. Because just if you don't try, then if I didn't try, then I thought that I would regret the decision forever. So yeah, so it might come as a surprise that I have made a firm decision only around 3 months ago, and that's true. It has only been around 3 months, yeah. Around March is when I tried to make a decision and really commit fully on the idea that I want to become a philosopher, and unfortunately that's when all the coronavirus happened. I hope this story kind of made sense, and I hope this story wasn't like too disorganized. It might reflect the fact that my mind is disorganized these days. The fact that I was telling a story in a very disorganized way, but I will try to edit it so that it's not disorganized, so that you guys have an illusion of looking at an organized person talking about organized stuff. Okay, so I think that's it for now. I will probably try to share my experience with my education in physics, or at least the journey or attempt to do physics. And yeah, I will perhaps make another video about what I like about philosophy and what I don't like about philosophy, because I do have a strong opinion about those. Yeah, so that's it for now, I think. Yeah, I'm trying to think of something that I missed and I can't think of it, which means it's probably not important if I missed it anyway. So yeah, so see you guys later, and I will end this video by showing you guys the Gilman Hall.